So a kid is walking down the street, and I'm anyone with any kind of fucking issues at all. I'm already hypersensitive. So if what's up, bro?
How you doing, man?
Same
Mind if I
old.
stop and have a cig with you? I'm not gonna go to the coffee shop yet.
Be wary of here. I mean, I don't know people.
Oh my god.
No, you're fine. I just people are often disturbed by the fact that I'm an archivist.
Hey, whatever's whatever, man. Whatever floats your boat.
I mean, displacement.
Displacement in what sense?
Like the way that a boat displaces a certain amount of gallons of water equal to its mass, so it floats. Apparently, everything floats because of displacement.
Have you seen this stuff coming out of, I think it's India. India, they're using a lot more hydrogen power and shit. Very interesting.
I may have heard something. I mean, I like hydrogen has some cool pluses, some amazing pluses, and it's got
You know
some.
what? I got it all mixed up. Here. In India, get this one. Look at this. In India, they're taking plastic. Okay, you know how plastic I mean, they're using. You can reuse it and shit like that. But what they're doing is they're using it with the gravel, and it lasts like.
What do you mean with gravel? As gravel?
As asphalt, and mixing it in, and it's lasting. It lasts longer, and the potholes don't form.
I mean, I'm assuming that when they put it in the hot shit, there's probably some more carbon thrown out. But I mean, that sounds possible. I mean, I think they should build. The thing is this: do you build houses out of wood, which capture carbon, right? Because you're putting a tree that's not burning. It grows. It's cut. It's nailed up. There's no more carbon. Houses hold carbon.
Yes.
Wood houses.
Okay.
So do plastic houses.
Right.
Like plastic houses, we have shit tons of plastic. We should make at least plastic castles, right? We should take fucking shit tons of fucking plastic and make it into the walls of massive plastic castles. Like, do something with it. Make floating platforms, like recycle it into like industrial eggs that can float under a platform for refugees. Something.
What's occurring is that a lot of the products from the sea are now, they're finding a lot of the animals are ingesting it.
10, 20, 30, 50 pounds in a whale's stomach.
Yeah, and then that goes into our system. So
they don't have filters for that. I mean, they have filters that catch that, right? It doesn't get through them, and then it just builds up, and then they die. Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, but using plastic is like just getting rid of it in that sense. You know what I mean?
If you have the power, and you have the isolation from residential communities, you can like the China stopped taking our recyclables in large part.
I've heard about that.
Like so we're just storing them now. Like they're like it's not even worth it for us to actually process. So start storing the shit again. But if you have a vast, because it takes energy to really recycle, especially well, because like when they do it well, they chop that shit up into almost nothing. They pull all metals out. They float shit.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like it's all very chopped up shit mixed in with like the asphalt. They're using.
They might melt it all. They probably melt it all down and then put it into a kind of stable pellet, like little tiny.
It's weird.
Like plastic sand could be awesome. Of course, you don't want to like.
I don't know about plastic. Yeah.
You breathe in sand and it scratches. You breathe in plastic, you get cancer.
Well, yes, of course. Yeah.
Cancer, plastic is just cancer. There's just like two sides of the same card. You want plastic?
Right.
Take cancer. Like you're fucking with chemicals that our body doesn't love, but bring us tremendous convenience. Like tremendous convenience.
Right.
Like any shape. Just pull a vacuum over another shape, and the plastic will take that shape. It'll be like perfect. It'll be like butter. Recycling.
Yeah, but to use, that's what I'm trying to get at though. Is use it for something. You know, don't let it store.
Stop. I mean, we'd probably I don't know. We'd probably be better off with all glass, like an all glass world. Like, don't throw stones because everything's fucking made of like Pyrex. We should make everything out of Pyrex. Like
is like
very hard to break, resistant to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Hockey, like those kind of
you can shoot pucks. Well, more than that. I mean, probably a mix of the hockey glass from Justice and a Pyrex oven. When you put glass in the oven up to like 500 degrees, and it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but that takes a lot of energy to make. Luckily, we have a plan for building the world's largest glass factory by maybe a factor, maybe 10 times. in the Sahara Desert. Like, we're planning on vacuuming up all of the sand, right, and turning it into massive quantities of cheap as fuck glass per pound. That's what we can do.
Right.
We're in the desert. We have
I'm
massive
thinking
heat
more
and massive sand. That's
Sahara.
all you.
Sahara. That, you might be onto something. Because of desertification, we could reverse that.
Well, it might happen in a story. That's one of the things we say. What happens if we dig out all the sand in the Sahara and turn it into glass, and then we mold that glass into spheres? We put seawater inside, and we start growing algae
Yeah.
in billions of greenhouses. And yes, we use fucking robots. They're Zeppelins. They fly up. They dock like the space station. They create a flow, and they filter out like 5 pounds of fucking algae, and then they fly back and they drop it. 5 pounds of algae is no joke.
Yeah. But
That'll feed like a
energy-
village for a week.
You're talking about for consumption, but can't
Well,
you
it's
use
consumption,
energy for-
and well, it depends. In the simulator, you can place more solar panels. You can place more greenhouses, right? You can pick what of the not unlimited surface area that's going to be available.
Okay.
We can corrupt African dictators so easily with money. They'll lease us the Sahara for 99 years. They won't realize that by the time it's well, there's sand and sun, there's glass. The desert's full of
That's what I'm saying.
unmade glass.
They have no use for it.
So they give us a 99-year lease. We absorb all the sand. We turn it all into greenhouses. They're all over the whole north of Africa,
Right.
filled with seawater, which actually lowers global sea levels by like a foot.
There you go. Yep.
A foot. I mean, it's because these are the real aquariospheres in the desert made of the glass that we take from the sun and the sand, and then we blow up in molds and we spin inside of giant industrial gyroscopes, so they're like perfect glass spheres.
Yeah. Okay.
Those float also. So once we've dug out the desert and the whole desert's covered in greenhouses, we put a dam at the coast, right? Because it goes down now, right? We've dug out the fucking northern Africa. We've pulled out all the sand
Right.
and blown up. We've like created an empty sea. So then we build a glass dam on the Atlantic coast of Africa, and we build a glass dam on the Pacific coast of Africa, and we charge global governments money to lower sea levels, right? Because it's actually 3 feet, and for them 3 feet means another 25 years of living in their palace on the shore before their mansion crashes and they drown, right? So they're like, fuck it, take this money. They give us a ton of money to absorb their water, which rushes into the hole that we made, right? So that water rushes in. As that water rushes in, all of the aquariospheres float.
Okay.
So you have aquariums floating on the sea, growing shit. Eventually we probably blow them up, because what happens to glass when you blow it up in the sea? It settles back down to it just falls to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, and then
And then over a million years, the glass gets broken down into its
what I was getting.
and it'll evolve new species, because glass is very sharp.
What I
And
was getting at is, so this whole idea is beneficial because
it's beneficial.
it's beneficial because you're having a food crisis in Africa. People can't grow crops because of desertification. So you're changing the climate of the area. You're creating a different climate area. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean, you'd
now
be
they
throwing
can
a
grow-
wrench into the equation.
No, now they can grow crops. Is what I'm thinking.
Well, they're gonna grow. Oh, to us, they're gonna grow all.
They have food.
It's not just algae.
It helps.
Some of
Saves.
the are actually they're greenhouse spheres, and they don't have a lot of water. They have a little water in the bottom, right? They have some fish that swim around eating some
Fish
shit.
is good,
A
yeah.
little bit of aquaponics, but some of them are just straight organic greenhouses, right? And when you fly over the Sahara, when you fly over Las Vegas, right, which is the largest organic garden in the world in virtual reality, it just blows your mind. Like when you see and you're like, this just goes off. Like, yes, if I warp time or I go up to like 1,000 miles an hour, I won't continue to fly over these greenhouses. But everything that we're doing in the desert is, forgive me, but it's probably largely robotic, right? Like the machines that take 12 tons of molten glass and turn it into a fucking greenhouse sphere that's 40 feet in diameter. A person can't. You can't do that. It would take us like 100 years to make one 30-foot diameter regular sphere,
Okay.
right? A titanium mold in a factory, well,
30 years?
just to polish it. I mean, if we didn't use robots, because it'd be almost impossible to get a perfect sphere at 30 feet diameter.
Right. How big is the
As
sphere
humans,
we're
you have to
talking?
make calculations
How
and have a
big is the
machine that
sphere?
can be precise. We're
How
not
big is the
precise.
sphere you're talking about?
30 feet, 30 to 40 feet in diameter.
Really? It'd take 30 years to do that?
For humans to make a perfect sphere of glass, yeah, they could never do it. Like they'd be polishing, they'd be at like
Yeah.
when you can machine using adamantium, no, I'm just kidding. In titanium, you can get tolerances down to like 2 microns, 3 microns, fucking 20 microns, and nothing's gonna be perfect. Nobody can make a perfect 30-foot diameter glass sphere. Nobody. It's not really possible. I mean, if God were conscious, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were like
Right.
anywhere omnipotent.
No, I got you. But the whole concept really is it's a very strong point though, because that desertification of Africa leads to a lot of people suffering, no food, and a lot of war.
I mean, it started a long time ago. That's just been like, it's not like, I mean, humans evolved
See,
with
what
that.
we're doing here, we're reversing it. You know, reversing that process of desertification by you making glass with the sand. Sure, but then you're gonna change the climate. You know what I
You're
mean?
gonna change the whole world's climate because you're not gonna have a desert there anymore. You're gonna have something drastically different, and you're gonna export shit tons of energy and all that shit that absorb.
But you see though,
We could just
like,
store carbon in
but you
the algae
see,
itself.
If we change that continent, then what would occur then? A lot of plant life and stuff, and now you're turning to talk about global warming, reversing that process also.
Well, in fiction, sure. Do we know
In
that?
fiction?
No, we have no idea. It could make everything worse.
If we were God's hands, yes.
It could be the straw. It could be the billion aquarium straws that broke the Mother Nature's camel back, right? It could be. If it went the wrong way, we would push us over the edge. Global warming's not the problem. Global cooling is the problem. We're gonna like fucking stroke it and fucking do everything we can to stop global warming, and then Mother Nature's gonna start going the other way, and we're gonna be spent. Do you want to like have sex, not have sex 2 seconds later? You don't jerk off. And, oh, I want to do it again. No, you don't want to do it again. You're tired, right? So when it starts to get cold is way worse than warm too. Cold is bad. I mean, life can survive at 500 degrees. Life can survive at minus, but for us, deep cold.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, now the Earth is white everywhere. The whole world is white. We took the one.
Basically, everything stops. I know a lot about. I know 0 point energy. That's everything stops. Basically, you know.
I mean, it slows down so much that like even microbes have trouble fucking.
You don't have movement. You know, the movement is life, and so on and so forth. But Alex, yeah, let me give it a walk here. I'm gonna head home and shit. Nice talking with you. That's a really great conversation that we just had.
Don't forget Las Vegas. I mean, India is another location where I think there's some deserts in India too. I think you do need silicates. You can't make glass out of dirt, right? Like, I'm not even 100% sure what the quantity of sand in the desert is that is the right kind of sand. I think it's the right kind of sand, but either way, this is what's happening in fiction. If it's the wrong kind of sand, people will be like, oh, that's an awesome pre-science fictional novella, right?
Yeah.
And if it's the right kind of sand, they'll say, wait a minute, did you just say that I gave you $20 and you gave a book to my kid about Las Vegas, and I got $20 worth of stock in a massive organic citizen source greenhouse in the desert? Like, yeah, that's what the book is. My kid's book is just stock for a project, which happens to contain the story of that project. Like, this is what it could be. It won't be this, because this is too good, right? It can't be this good, but a lot of the things that make this story beautiful can happen, right? But this is our ultimate vision. This is not reality. We're saying everything in this vision could happen, we think, right? Engineers say, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. It's not out of the bounds of the possibilities of physics, but will we ever choose to do those things in reality? No. We want fiction to be stranger than truth, right? We want our best ideas to get built, and then we want our extra ideas just to amuse, right? To amuse people, to open their minds, to make them think like, holy shit, you know? Keep your mind open, and you'll know it's not open if you can't fit giant ideas inside. Like, and if you really want to understand giant ideas, you just have to go out of your mind, which is fun for like us. Like, we're weird, so I mean, and most people are just like, no. I'm like, don't fucking. I mean, it's risky going out of your mind, which I do every day. It's risky. Like, I don't advise it to everybody. I wouldn't advise you. Like, start smoking weed every day and go and try to like go out of your mind. It's dangerous.
I'm at yogi level, and that's not something I never would ever advise anyone to do. You can't do that because you got to be trained.
I can, but I've been trained like my whole life. I'm 46 years old, and I'm still basically a child. So like, and I can eat, and even get medicine if fucking necessary.
Yeah, if necessary. Yeah, but great talk, Alex. Take care of yourself. We'll see each other. I have an event. I don't know if I've mentioned this. I'm very involved with refugees and stuff. It's called World Western New York Refugee Day.
Right.
That's going to occur down at LaSalle Park on June 30th. It's a Sunday. You still got? I know you got a kid. Still.
I got two kids. I got two, 9 and 7. They won't be there. Their mom is hyper protective and doesn't take them to.
Oh, I was gonna say it's face painting. It's multicultural, but check it out.
I'll mention it to her.
Soccer tournament.
I'll see you before then too. That's months away.
Check it out though. It's it's my event. There's face painting going on, children's activities, and there's a soccer tournament there and stuff.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So
Refugees are generally better at soccer than us.
Yeah.
No, that's what you should invent. Invent refugee camps that are really just a soccer field.
Soccer fields?
Well, and at night, everybody takes down their tent, their house. So it
Right.
takes 20 minutes. Everybody takes it down.
Yeah.
It's got a wheel on it, and they roll it off to the side of the field. Right? So they open up the soccer field every night because nobody needs to be sleeping in the middle of the day. Right? They just open this amazing field, and then the kids play all day long, and everybody plays, and they get fucking great.
So good and make millions of dollars.
And they're like, give us a reservation like the Indians. We'll win the World Cup. And we're like, wait a minute. If we got a new, we'll do that.
Or some of the kids start getting signed by Manchester United. You know, I know what you mean.
Human Chester.
Yeah. All right.
See ya, man.
Take care, man.
Actually, if you have an interesting talk with most people, like you can have an interesting talk with most people. Like Mike is probably a more curious person than most. That was good.